Hey everybody, my name is Chris Americos with teaching-revolution.com, and today I'm going to talk to you about the units of knowledge. Units of knowledge are just small pieces of information that we can extract from a source, and then we can mix them together to create something new. So if you're an independent teacher, or if you're a teacher who wants to take control of his or her teaching career, then this video is definitely going to help you with that. So if you like this video, make sure you share it with other people, click like, leave a comment down below, subscribe to our channel, and let's get right into it right now. So units of knowledge could mean lots of different things. There's a lot of different ways that we can classify knowledge or break it down into pieces. And today, what we're going to do is we're going to focus on sources of information, how we can extract information from those sources, and then we can construct that information together to combine it together and construct a product or a program or something like that that we can use. All right, so this is really, really important, and anyone who has a teaching business or has a business or a career where you teach something needs to know how to do this, because you can't always create everything. You need to get some ideas from what's already out there. And even if you don't need to, it would be a poor choice not to, because it's all there for you. So let's talk about how we can do this. One example is a book. A book is a source of information. And within a book, we can find different chapters or units or sections, right? And typically in any industry, whatever you're teaching about, there's probably a book about that already, right? So in your industry, let's say you're in the oil or energy sector. So there's probably a book about the thing that you're going to teach within that sector, probably, right? And if not, then maybe you're writing the book on it. But typically there's going to be an industry standard textbook that everybody reads. So we're going to look at that book because that's a good source of information and it's a standard, so that's what we want to use. We can break that into the chapters that are within the book, and we can see which ones are valuable and which ones are not. And that's going to be step 2. But in step 1, we're just identifying these different sources of information. We're just collecting these different sources of information. Another source of information might be a website that everyone is familiar with, a website that's very clearly organized and very informative. This can help you too. So you could separate it into pages, right? Or maybe even sections of a website. And these are units of knowledge that we can extract from this source of information. Now, another source that we might see is a film. And you might be thinking, well, how can I extract information from a film? Well, we might use scenes from the film. There might be one scene that really tells you something, communicates something, teaches you something, and you can use that. Another one is a speech. When someone stands in front of you and gives a speech, there's some information that we can extract from there, right? So we can take all of these different things, we can collect sources of information, and then we can extract these units out of them. And we want to be thinking of the units in these small parts, not as just one big source. Because a lot of times when we read a book, or we visit a website, or we watch a film, or we listen to a speech, it's not the entire speech, or entire film, or entire book, or entire website that we like. It's one specific part. It's one specific part that teaches us something and that can apply when we're trying to solve a problem. And that's what we should be doing as a business, as an organization, and as a teacher, right? We should be solving problems, fixing errors, and things like that. So that's step number 1, collect information, right? Collect these units of knowledge. Next, we need to refine units of knowledge. And how do we do that? Well, now that we know how many chapters, pages, scenes, and speech points there are, well, now we can say which ones are important and which ones are not. Each situation is going to be different, and you have to decide this for yourself. But just as an example, I went ahead and just chose 20% of each of them is useful. So 10 chapters were in the book, and only 2 chapters are useful to me, or things that I'm going to actually use, concepts that I'll be able to repeat and pass on to other people and teach other people about. 100 pages on the website, I said 20 web pages are relevant to us. Then we had 20 scenes from the film, 4 of them are relevant to us, and the speech had 10 important points. 2 of the speech points are going to be useful to us. So now that we've refined these points, we've taken these points, we've looked at them again, We've decided which ones are in and which ones are out. Now we put them all together. So you see they're almost in this one container of all of these different pieces. Whereas when we started out, we had 4 different sources, and those sources had units of knowledge inside of them. Now we've extracted the units of knowledge, we've combined them, and we're looking at them compared to what's going to solve a specific problem, right? So only the things that are important, only the things that are relevant, we've taken out. So now we have this collection of extracted units of knowledge. And we can now go to step 3 of this whole process, which is to reiterate these units of knowledge. And reiterate just means to say it again, to retell it, to present it in our own way. And so for this, now we can create a pilot product. I call it a pilot product because we're just going to be testing it still, right? This is just the very beginning. We're just being creative about how we're looking at different units of knowledge and sources of information. So this is a pilot product because we still need to go test it. It hasn't been through testing. It's not 100%. We're not going to dump a bunch of investment or other money or funds into this yet, right? And so now we've taken these book chapters that were useful or relevant to us. We've turned that into a working order of contents. So by looking at that book, it showed us what order certain information should go in, maybe. Maybe it showed us which titles or which parts of this topic are most important, and it helped us to sort the topics within our field, right? So maybe this book showed us something. We're not copying the book. We're not plagiarizing or copying anyone. What we're doing is we're taking the concepts that are used, we're learning them ourselves, and then we're restating them in a different context, in a different situation. And we're applying that knowledge to something else, okay? So we can take those chapters and we can take all that information from that book, and then we can restate it and apply it to something else. And it doesn't have to be written word for word or said word for word, because it's yours now. It's now in your head, your knowledge, you understand it, and you can use it however you need to. So with the web pages, we could turn those web pages into a presentation of content. We could use the example that has already been made on this great website and follow the outline or the design or layout of that web page or website on our website, right? We could do that. Or maybe just for a presentation that we're going to use in lessons. All right, then when we talked about films, right? We found some useful scenes from films. Well, maybe those scenes from films are going to show us something that we can turn into videos, right? Maybe that's going to show us how we can actually teach about that topic. We could say, well, in that film, they used this to talk about this. So can I repeat that? How can I transform that and use it in this context, right? And then speeches, right? We said that we took 2 of the points from the speeches, and then those could actually become something like a script. So you could look at what they say in the speech and understand why that's important and which part was most effective. And then you could take that and you could reiterate it. You could use it for yourself in your context and apply it to what you're doing. So I hope that you found this video useful. This is the units of knowledge, and basically we've just shown you how you can break down a source of knowledge and extract the units of knowledge from that source and then reiterate it to create a product. So if you like that and you want to learn more about how to set up a teaching business, create teaching products, or just how to be more successful as a teacher in your career, then I highly, highly suggest going over and joining our free training. It's on our website, teaching-revolution.com. You should see a link below this video or above this video or somewhere around this video. Again, my name's Chris Americos. You can also find me on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, everywhere. And I hope to see you again in another video very, very soon. Take care, and make sure that you share this if you found it useful. Press like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below if you have any questions. See you next time.